Hey everybody, this is Linares with the Sam via ArTeam. Just reviewing another common salon scenario with you. We did some layers on one of our guests, and guess what? After the blowout, we found out that they were just a little bit or a lot weighty on the top. And we're gonna look at how to diagnose and correct a little problem in the layer just like this. So we have a look at it and we can definitely see that there is a big disparity in the flow happening right about there, and that chunk is really starting to show off. So we want to isolate exactly where the problem began so we can go about correcting it. Best way to do it is just to peel it off layer by layer. So I'm going to take away some of the top here and we'll take a look. We want to see if we can find the place where the problem starts to go away so we can isolate exactly where we're going to be working. You know, if we get a look at that now, we can still see that little bit of implied weight, but it's not sitting quite as heavy there. So let's get just a little bit more to guarantee that we got it. Taking a little bit more from the top here. And now we take a better look. Right there, we've got a really good flow. So we know that probably right above this vertical transition is where that weighty layer is sitting. Now, if we take a look at that, you can see just how steep that finger angle was when we created this layer vertically. So we're just gonna look for a way to pop some of that weight off the top. A nice way to look at that is to drop it down and take a vertical section that we can analyze. And we know that we're going to be working right above that vertical transition somewhere. So as we elevate this up, we'll get a much better look at where that weight sits. We're going to elevate it a little, not too much. And if we really feel that that weight is so heavy that we need to change the silhouette of the cut to make it right, then we will actually go in there and find that corner and take it away. So with a little bit of elevation, we can see that that angle really moves out this way and creates that little bit of weight. What we can do is we can take a little bit of that off and then get a better look at it. Fan it out, and we'll point cut some of the weight out of that. And then let's drop it and take another look. As I bring this back down, what we're looking for here is to see that big egregious weight error go away. It's getting a little bit smoother, but we can still see that little bit of weight right there. So maybe we're not done just yet. We'll take our section once again, and let's get a better look. Let's elevate it a little bit higher. The higher we elevate, the more of that length is going to drop away, but the more of that big corner is being revealed to us. So let's take just a little bit more off. Fan it out, make your point cuts for softness, and then we'll drop it back down and have another look. What we're looking for here is to see that big block go away. Bring her back around. Here's where we were working. Still a little bit of float there, so we haven't got it all yet. Take your time with this. There's no need to feel like you have to go in and correct everything right away. Sometimes it's just looking for the sweet spot and taking a little bit of feel and observation to find that place. Biting just a little bit deeper into it this time, especially down there at the bottom where that weight really picked up for us. And then finally, we'll take it just all the way up to 90-degree elevation and remove the final bit of that corner. Let's bring it back around one more time and see what happened for us. So in this area now, we can see that we've got a nice bevel and a little bit better flow. So ultimately, our elevation ended up at about 45 degrees above the vertical transition, and then we just took that corner clean off. But the process was about slowly kind of chipping away at it until we had it right, and not just rushing in and blasting off a lot of hair that maybe we wouldn't have needed to take. So a slow, methodical approach can be great. So we created this weight layer, and there's really nothing we can do about it right now. But we need to make that adjustment to get rid of the excess weight that shows that heavy line. But what if we did not want to affect our silhouette? What if the length coming from here to here is important that we keep it? Can we go in there and alleviate the appearance of that without dramatically changing the silhouette, i.e. making the top layers even shorter than they already are? So we're going to attack this with our Invisiblend shear, which is one of our blenders that has a very light touch and does not leave a line when we cut the hair. So I'm going to take, just like we did before, a nice vertical section, and elevate to a place where that little bit of corner and weight starts to show off. Let me turn to you guys. So as we bring this up vertically, we can see that right about there is where we start to see the pickup in that weight. But we don't want to change the layer so much, but we are going to have to minimize its effect. So we're going to take our Invisiblend and work from the interior and make just a few minor adjustments that will alleviate this weight. Notice that we're setting a new finger angle inside the subsection. Previous finger angle worked volume to top that way. We're going in on the inside and counteracting that, which should help us collapse the weight on that top layer. We made 3 little bites. Let's take a look and see what it did for us. We're just going to drop that back into shape. So close. You can just barely see a little bit of weight right there. So I feel like we're on the right path. And just like we did in the previous exercise, we're just going to take our elevation a little bit higher this time. So we can see our corner. And what we can tell from what we've already done through analysis is that those ends are getting pretty skinny out there. We may have done as much as we can in this area before it starts to get a little wispy. And that's something that we want to avoid. So as I elevate this up, we're going to get on the underneath part of it now. We'll take away that little bit from the top that we know we can't touch anymore and suss out this section where we can get a good look. Right there is still where all that weight is sitting. So just like we did before, create the opposite angle, one that goes a little short to long or volume at the bottom. And that took a lot of that out. Let's take another look. And as we comb this back down, yes, we can see that that has finally disappeared. And what's great about it is that we did not have to take away the length that we wanted to keep from the top. Just 2 different ways to attack a weighty layer. Sometimes we put them in there without thinking, and after the blowout we see it and we're like, oh no. So those are 2 ways that we can attack. The first way, we actually took layers off the top and affected the silhouette. We actually made it dramatically shorter up here in order to create this curvature, working from the outside of the section. Going on the inside of the section with the Invisiblend allowed us to keep all of the length but debulk it selectively and strategically using the same movements that we created when we made the section: elevation, over direction, our finger position, and so forth. So principles of haircutting will always help us get to a good end result. I hope those 2 ways allow you to diagnose and treat your own haircuts better in the salon. We hope you enjoyed seeing this with us. I'm Linares with the Sam Villa Art Team.